What it is, what it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one and only Ash Brown, and this is the AshSaidit Show. Over 1,900 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this is possible without you guys, so I thank you so very, very much. All your love and support has made a huge difference since 2014. Woo woo. And today we are joined by best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, and also fellow podcast host, Peter Shankman. Hey, Peter.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us, Peter. So, Peter, there's a lot. I mean, your resume precedes you. You know, you've got a lot of things that you've accomplished in your life. And I want to start off with putting your story to writing the inspiration behind, your story and everything in book form. Why was it so important for you to put it that way?
So one of the reasons I've written several books. I've a bunch of business books, and I wrote a book on adult ADHD and how I deal with it. Mm-hmm. But then I wrote a children's book called The Boy with the Faster Brain, and that was really autobiographical because I grew up in the 70s and 80s in the New York City public school system where ADHD did not exist. Mm-hmm. What existed was, sit down, you're disrupting the class. Mm-hmm. And it was hard. It was really, really difficult to grow up in that environment where, I was being told all the time that I was broken, that teachers constantly just sit down, trying to interrupt. You're not going to learn anything. Just get through the class. It was tough. And so I grew up with that sort of environment. My parents were wonderful, but everything else was, he's not good at school. He's a failure. He interrupts the class. And so when I finally got diagnosed with ADHD in my late 30s, it really sort of created this whole new world where I understood why I was the way I was. And before that, I'd had a ton of success. I couldn't figure out why I could have so much success in certain things and then just fail miserably in other things. So it really was that sort of wake-up call where I got diagnosed and said, okay, if I can help anyone else not feel this way for first 30 years of their life, I've done something good.
Good. I love hearing stories like that because I think that now we're in a day and time where we're a little bit more aware, of things versus, like you said, the 70s and 80s. I'm an 80s baby myself. And during that time, it was just like, just be quiet, shut up, do your work, and just get everything done. And there was less of an understanding. And maybe because the literature wasn't there, I don't know. But so your book, for the children, do you have any key warning signs or things that parents can look for if they maybe think that their child does have ADHD?
Well, the first thing to understand, if they get diagnosed or their school psychologist says take them to a doctor or whatever, first thing they have to understand is any sort of neurodiversity, whether it's ADD, ADHD, autism, executive function disorder, dyspraxia, dyslexia, whatever, doesn't mean the child is broken. Right. Quite the opposite. It means the child is gifted. It means the child has a tremendous ability to create and is very creative and is very, can do wonderful things if they're given that opportunity. A lot of times, they don't necessarily get that opportunity. And instead they're just, sort of called broken or whatever the case may be. If you can create something a world where that child understands that they have the ability to be great. And instead of just, driving a Honda like everyone else, they're given the keys to a Lamborghini. They are given the keys to a faster car, and they have to learn how to drive that faster car because all their life they've been taught how to drive a Honda. All of a sudden, you give them a Lamborghini. If they don't know how to drive it, of course they're going to have problems. Yeah. The key is to get them to drive a faster car and learn how to do that.
Gotcha. Now, for you, as you were saying, being diagnosed later on in life in your 30s, what brought about that diagnosis for you?
So I finally decided to get diagnosed when I knew that, I knew something was up. My therapist, I did see a therapist, he said, so when did you get diagnosed? I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, when did you get diagnosed with ADHD? I said, I never was. He started looking at me like, you're kidding. I'm like, why? Do you think I have ADHD? And he looked at me and I was like, duh. And I pretty much knew I had something, but having the diagnosis, it was just a good answer to have, a good way to understand what I had. And so learning that allowed me to, having a name for it really sort of allowed me to understand and sort of start to learn about the way my brain works and why I could do certain things, why I couldn't do certain things, and sort of how to make that work in a better way for me.
Gotcha. Would you say that it was somewhat of an aha moment? Like it totally like a light bulb went off and it was like, oh my gosh, that makes perfect sense.
It It was more about the fact that, I mean, I knew that I was different. This gave a name to it.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of it did make sense, but it's just nice to be able to say, okay, there's a reason for all this.
Okay. I gotcha. Now, we are well into the month of October, and October is a pretty special month, wouldn't you say?
October is a great month. It's ADHD Awareness Month,
yes.
Which is awesome. It's great to have that conversation. You know, again, 20 years ago, we weren't having these kind of conversations.
No.
It's wonderful to know that we're doing it now.
Yeah. Better late than never. I'm definitely glad that it's around. Now, are there any resources that maybe you'd like to share with the audience as far as anything ADHD related and possibly...
Well, I mean, obviously, I have a podcast. It's called Faster Than Normal. We have over 300 episodes where we talk to CEOs, actual rock stars like bands, people in bands, politicians, you name it, celebrities, all of whom have ADHD or neurodiversity, and all of them believe that it has helped them better themselves and help them get where they are. And so that can be found at Fast and Normal or on iTunes or wherever. And then, I am always happy to talk about this as well. I'm Peter at shankman.com. My life is at shankman.com. I'm a huge fan of talking about all this stuff.
Yes, definitely. And would you also say that your diagnosis, ADHD, it's also like kind of helped enhance you and helped you actually do better?
99.9% of my success is because of, not in spite of, my ADHD.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, podcaster, the list goes on and on. Peter, what is next for you?
Well, I'm a single dad to a beautiful 10-year-old daughter.
Aww.
She's pretty awesome. She's sitting over there sucking down a yogurt top and has her headphones on. Not paying attention to me, but she's great. I'm having a great time with her. You know, it's fun for me to be able to travel for business and start to take her with me and show her the world and things like that. That's pretty awesome. But, you know, I'm just doing my thing. I'm helping people. If I can, you know, the children's book was a hit, so I think I'm going to do another one as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's enjoyable for me. It's a lot of fun, and I'm very fortunate. I've had a really good time, and I'm having a lot of fun with what I'm doing.
Good stuff. Last but certainly not least, what advice would you offer to anyone today that, much like yourself, was diagnosed later on in life?
Understand that all those things that you've been doing all your life that everyone thought were weird are actually what you're doing to make yourself better. And so stop caring what other people think about it. Focus on yourself, focus on what you're doing, and focus on how you're doing it. Go from there and stop caring about what the rest of the world thinks.
I love it. Peter Shankman, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you.
The pleasure was mine. It's time.
Yes, and Peter, let everyone know again the best way to get some more information on you and possibly where to get those books.
Yeah, so I'm at Peter Shankman everywhere but Twitter. I quit Twitter because it's a horrible tire fire. But I'm everywhere else at Peter Shankman. My email is peter@shankman.com. And both Faster Than Normal and The Boy with the Faster Brain can both be found on Amazon or anywhere you buy books.
Sounds like a plan. Peter, much more success to you and your whole team. Definitely see some great things coming in 2024. And I appreciate each and every...
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I appreciate each and every one of you guys so much for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.